Hey, Steve here. I'm the Siteworks product manager. We're going to give you a quick system component walkthrough of Siteworks machine guidance. First thing it starts with is the R780 or the SPS 986 with a premium precise rover option code, or at the very least you got to make sure that it has the tilt compensation option enabled. Then where we actually go ahead and mount the system on the machine is done on a special bracket that comes with the hardware kit itself. That bracket is right here, and that consists of just a black metal bracket here, and there is a plate underneath. The plate gets welded on, and there are two bolts that just bolt the actual bracket to the plate itself. This has a little bit of angular adjustment, which is part of the installation. You actually work to get the receiver aligned with the pivot point, or what's called the G-pin on the excavator. So all this bracket consists of is there is a star bolt here, manual. It has a captive portion, so you can just store the bolt directly on the bracket when it's not in use. You take your receiver with the faceplate and the power button, and you mount that towards the rear of the excavator, or essentially towards the operator itself. You hold it in place. Everything's kind of positively registered on that bracket, so you can really only put it in one way as long as you have the that faceplate and power button facing the operator, and you just have to screw that in nice and tight, and you're ready to go on that. And so kind of working down through the system in terms of additional components, one of the key components of this is we have an IMU, or an angle sensor, that's placed onto the dog bone. So that has a metal bracket that's part of the system. This one here we've painted to match our link belt device here, but inside is a load right angular sensor with a fully armored cable, so it's going to be able to stand up to the rigors of being, this close to the digging end of the excavator. Then there's just a cable harness that travels up from there and then back through along the stick, back along the boom, and then kind of buried in the back there is a CAN to Bluetooth adapter, which what that does is it takes the CAN-based signal from the IMU here that's on the dog bone, translate that over into Bluetooth, and then that is what the Siteworks data collector or display in the cab is actually using to decode the angular readings that we're getting off of the IMU here. And so that's basically it. The system on the whole, it's a pretty simple hardware kit.
So now that Steve has given you a tour of the components on the outside of the machine, we'll bring you into the cab. So we're using the Trimble T7 tablet. Any supported Trimble Siteworks data collector or display will work with Trimble Siteworks machine guidance. This T7 tablet has been equipped with the Quick Connect accessory, and we've used the triple mag mount bracket here with a Quick Connect to ram ball connector. So this is really slick for the cab. You just click the button and click it on. So nice big display for the operator. This is Trimble Siteworks, what you'd be used to. What we've added is when we click on to change our measurement mode, we now have this new machine tile. So when we click the machine tile, we come in here and we can see this is where we can add our machine and attachment. We'll get into that more in the next video. But what I'll show you here now is that we can add a new machine, name it. So I'm gonna call this the link belt. Okay, and I'll just walk through some of these options here. So we have a few entries and ask a few questions about the machine that you're running. So where is the receiver mount location? Is it mounted on the left or right? On this machine, we're on the right. So I'll come into this box and select right. We have question marks throughout this entire process to show the user what we're talking about. So when I say machine mount right, this is where we're talking about, with the bracket mounted on the right side of the excavator stick. We have a few measurements that we request, which we'll show you how to do that here in the next video. And then the sensor mount location, dog bone right or left. On this machine, it's right. And then we simply connect to the Bluetooth device, and that will save the Bluetooth address of that device, so that every time you get in the cab and click connect, it'll always connect to this machine. And then we have a dog bone calibration, which we'll walk through in the next video. So for now, I'll just hit accept. Yes. And then the next section is the attachment. So for this machine, we can go in and add a new attachment. As you can see, it's really simple. There's two measurements here. We can go in and name it. So once again, I'll call it link belt bucket. Hit enter and save that. So now that we've done that, that setup in the software, we just, there's another calibration we have to do, which we'll show you in the other video, but we just hit accept, and you're ready to get to work.